What's up, guys? This is Pedro from My Stuttering Life, where you will hear the good, the bad, the very ugly. We're gonna laugh, we're gonna cry, but through it all, just know that you are not alone. So, let's get started. Welcome, Michael Campbell.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm excited to be here today.
Thank you, sir. This is a huge honor. We have a lot of topics to cover, so let's get started.
Let's go.
All right. So do you remember when you first began to stutter?
Yes. I think I was about 3, and well, I don't know. Maybe anywhere from like 3 to 5. Uh, I had a friend. I think his name was Josh. And Josh used to stutter real bad. And I was in early grade school with him, so I think probably around kindergarten time frame is when I started stuttering.
Does it run in your family? Do you have other family members who stutter?
Well, I can't speak for like other families, but I know, like, as far as me, I do have a son that stutters. Cameron's 13, and Cameron's the reason why I created Smile I Stutter.
All right. So Cameron is in junior high or
He
grade
is.
school?
Cameron's going to be in 8th grade this year.
Okay. Oh, that is awesome. That's awesome. So, have you ever had speech therapy in school? And if you did, was it helpful?
I've had speech therapy. I'd probably say I've gone to at least 10 different speech therapists. And I don't want to say that they weren't helpful, but um, I feel like the speech therapist really didn't connect on like the mental aspect of things. And I think that's like just as important as, as the actual stutter part of it.
You bring up a great point, Michael. When I was in speech therapy, and so I've had over 2 decades of speech therapy, and in the beginning, you hit it right on the nose. They didn't tackle the mental health aspect of it.
Yes.
They didn't teach you how to handle the bullies. They
Right.
didn't teach you how to how to process your anger, how to address the anx- anx- anxiety and and fear. Um, the the focus was when I was in school. It was to help you become fluent like
Yeah.
everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, and right. And that made me feel like I was broken
Yeah.
because every time that I had speech therapy, I was reminded that I don't talk like everybody else,
Yeah.
and so it's the job of the SLP to get me to talk like
Yeah.
everybody else. And so
Yeah.
I mean I um later in life I did learn the mental health aspect, but that was in my 20s. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's kind of
good
the same thing that
point.
happened to me. Like, that's the same thing that happened to me. Like, most of my speech therapists uh, would just focus on, okay, you have to use these techniques, and like, but but I think that were never talked about was I, I think that were never talked about or the or the things that you just mentioned. Like wanting to hide in class whenever they said, hey, you have to get up and say your name. Like like those things have to be talked about also.
Woo, you know it, Michael, because
Yeah.
school is rough.
Oh, it's
School
so
is
hard.
rough. And
It's
I mean,
hard.
you know, having, you know, having to do introductions. I did
Oh,
that one time, Michael.
oh,
I did it one time in the first grade, and you do not forget that type of
no.
trauma.
No, like I
I
would like
mean,
fake being
ooh,
sick. I mean, like I would like I would try to hide somewhere. Like I no. Uh-uh.
yeah. That one time that I had to do it, oh my gosh, it was horrible. And they were mocking me and calling me a porky pig. And so I told myself that that'll never happen again.
Yo, no.
And so I, I, I missed the first 2 days of school the entire time that I was in school. I did that for 12 years. And then I did it in undergrad. And
Mm,
then I did it in in graduate school
mm.
because you don't forget
No.
that fear.
Yeah.
And so, like what you were telling me, I mean, whenever I was in school and we had to read out loud, I did it one time. No more,
Oh
Michael. No
man.
more. I would hide in the restroom
I would
stall.
do anything.
The restroom stall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, all through school, Michael.
Yeah.
All through school, and even in my undergraduate and
Yeah.
in my graduate and even at my job, I would hide in the restroom stall to avoid hopping on the telephone or
Yeah.
talking to people or have to. I mean, yeah, whoo, it's called survival. It's called
Yeah.
survival. So I mean, I lived in that restroom stall for years,
Mhm.
years.
I get it.
So, do you have any advice for parents and teachers with regards to children who stutter?
Oh man. I I would say for parents, I think so. Like for instance, my son. So, my son probably hears that he stutters every day. Uh, 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 he probably hears it whenever he goes to school. He probably hears it from his teachers. He probably hears it from all his friends. So whenever he comes home, you have to make your home make that like his safe place, like a place where it doesn't matter how he talks. Uh, the freezing or the uh, uh, all the weird facial expressions. You just have to let him have his space, and I think that's. I would say probably. I would say that's probably the best advice for parents. As far as teachers, just be patient. Like whenever it's time to speak out, like in front of the class, like don't pick that. I would say not pick the person until the person comes to you and says he's ready to uh, talk out in a class. I would say those are my two pieces of advice.
And that is great advice. Great, great advice. So now let's switch gears a little bit. Job wise, I know we can't quantify this, or prove this in a court of law, but um, had you ever experienced discrimination because of your stutter?
Um, I don't want to say that I've ever experienced it, but I will say that I didn't get chosen for jobs that required you to speak a lot. Um, you know, I think the best way uh, to to put it for a person that stutters whenever they go to a job interview is like you have this massive bucket of like water, right? And then uh, 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 and you get this like tiny pen, and uh, and you poke the very bottom of that bucket, and just like and just like uh, uh, a little bit of water comes out. There's like all this water up here. Like that's the same thing it is for that's the same way that it is for the person that stutters, because the person that stutters like wants to say all this stuff, but like all we can manage to get out like during a job interview is like yes, or like uh, 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 shoot. There's been times where like I've had to write things down and just uh, 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 you know uh, 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 and give it to the person that's giving me the job interview.
See, and I always had a notepad with me in job interviews. Always
Yeah,
had a notepad because, like
you
you,
have to.
I mean, it's called survival, Michael.
Yes, you
We
have
need
to
to
have something.
survive.
Yeah, like you have to hold it up.
Yes, because
Like,
I mean, we have to pay rent.
yeah,
We do have a car payment.
yeah,
We have to eat. Top ramen every day with
yeah,
macaroni and cheese. I mean, come on.
yeah.
It's called
We are
survival.
qualified.
And then exactly,
We
hire
are
me.
qualified.
Hire
Hire
me.
me.
Now, job interviews, I know they are stressful and just
Oh,
horrible. And I mean, just everything. Um, okay, did you ever disclose at any of your job interviews?
about what? That I stuttered?
Of Yes, yes.
Well, I didn't have to. Well, they have to wait long to figure that out. They just like once we get past the first phone call, like I don't really have to disclose it much. But I know whenever. Um, well, so um, I would say back in 2017, um, I applied for a job at the Sheridan. Uh, 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 I applied to be a housekeeper. I applied there because I didn't have to say a whole lot. I didn't have to do much. Well, like I, I, I ended up getting the job, and like uh, I realized shortly after that like people started treating me like like this is all you can do. Like because you don't have to say much, and so like after that moment, like I started going to job interviews and like honestly just not caring and just I'm just gonna blurt it out and you know we'll see what happens.
So you did housekeeping, and so I did data entry. There's
Okay,
no human interaction.
no, it's
No
not.
human interaction. They gave me a stack of work that I had to get entered into the computer at the end of the day, and then I was good to go. And Michael, let me tell you, when the front desk person had to go on break or on lunch and they were looking for a person to fill in, I
Yep.
ran to the restroom. Michael, I went to my BFF. I
Yeah.
went into my it I'm into my restroom stall, and so I would hang out if they were on a break for 15 minutes or lunch. I would hang out for 30 minutes because
Oh yeah.
I knew if they were to call me, Michael, game over. Game
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
You know, Thank you for playing our game. You are terminated. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
no, no,
It's not gonna work out.
no. It's called survival
Yeah.
skills. Now, okay, let's talk about some ADLs. And these are activities of daily living. So, okay, pre-COVID, how did you handle the telephones? How did you handle
Mm.
drive-throughs? And then how did you handle ordering at restaurants pre-COVID?
Man, uh, that's such a hard question. So, uh, pre-COVID, okay. So, look, but before I answer any of that, like I have to say, like I got lucky, uh, and I got to marry my best friend. Like I love her to. Uh, I can't even say how much I love her. So, like, I'm fortunate enough to like have her come with me whenever we go through drive-throughs or like whenever we go to restaurants, But uh, I would say that like I, I really didn't do well in drive-throughs before her, and like I really didn't do well with like restaurants. Uh, uh, but now like I'm starting to do better whenever it goes to restaurants. But uh, I really do have trouble when I go through drive-throughs. Like uh that's the worst for me. Hate it.
Ooh, Michael, I have been there. You are my twin, Michael. You are my twin.
Yeah,
Drive-throughs,
hate it.
were my nemesis.
Hate it.
And so I told myself, I have to get that hamburger. I've got to get
Yeah.
that hamburger. And so what I did, because as you know, people who stutter, we are creative, we are resourceful,
Yes.
and we are resilient. And so what Pedro did, I went and bought me a tape recorder, those micro cassette tape recorders.
Yes.
And so I went home. Woo, we are resourceful. And
I want
so
to do that.
I I'm telling you, I went home and I practiced. I practiced the menu on what I wanted to order. So I practiced, you know, in one spot of the tape, for hamburgers, and one spot, Taco Bell, and then the other spot, fried
That's a
chicken. So
great
I had it
idea.
for
Like
every
that's the
for
best idea
every
I've ever heard.
so it's called survival. And
Man, I have
Pedro
to
got to
do
eat.
that.
And
Yes.
so what I did when I would go to a burger place, I mean,
Mhm.
I had my tape recorder. Pedro was confident,
Yeah.
confident. I got this. I got this. And so I
Yeah.
would pull up to the window, and then you would hear, "May I take your order?" And then I would confidently reach
Yeah.
out my arm, press play, and then voila. And then I dropped it.
Oh
I
no.
dropped it, Michael. And then, as you know, there's hardly any space between the
No.
speaker and your car door. So I had to
Maybe just
open up my
push.
car door, yes, and just squeeze all the way down, pick up the tape recorder, and then push play again. However, when I did, it would do the order for Taco Bell and not this burger place. And so I had to stop and rewind. And when I would push play, the 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 menu order that popped up was for fried chicken. And I said, I can't. I drove home and made a sandwich.
Just gotta go.
Yes, yes. I mean, yeah, that's what Pedro had to do back in the day. But
Oh,
yeah. So, okay, now that we're in COVID. I mean, it has pushed us completely, and I am speaking the truth, Michael. It has pushed us completely out of our comfort
Yeah.
zones because now we have to do everything on Zoom and Skype and everything else. So how have how have you adapted to being in this new normal with Zoom and Skype and Teams?
Well, the one thing that I really do like about Zoom is it does have a chat option to where like in case you're talking with somebody and and you get stuck, you can type out your words, and I think that's actually been the best for me. But I really don't answer the phones that much. Uh, I'll go through phases where like uh, 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 I go through phases where like I can't say hey uh, or I have like a or I have like a real hard time saying hello, and so I just don't answer the phone. And so uh, uh, I know uh, I know that's bad, but like I don't. Uh, 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 that's one thing that I'm kind of still working on.
See, and you bring up the chat box.
Yeah.
I love the chat box
Oh man, it's great.
because I'm telling you, when I'm on Zoom or Teams and if I have a block, everything stops. I don't breathe. My
Nope.
eyes are closed, and then you have that one person in there, that one
Yeah.
person who will tell everybody maybe his internet froze, and then here
Oh
I am in the
yes.
chat box. I'm still
Oh
here.
yes.
I'm still here.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yeah.
just have a block.
Yes, and like that's why. So that's why whenever uh, I have to call like a large company and like you have to say you have to speak like the person always says the person always says that it seems like we have it seems like we have a bad connection, and I'm like no, I'm just having a hard time speaking. We don't have a bad connection. It's just my mouth.
Welcome to my world, Michael. I
Yes.
will. I mean, because I, I have a hard time with my H's, and so it's like heavy breathing, and the
Yeah.
other person on the line is, you had better hang up, or I am going to call the police.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like there's literally times where like I pick up the phone and like, it literally sounds like and like and the person usually just hangs up anyway. So like I don't know.
And
What are
it's
you gonna
like,
do?
oh well,
Oh well.
life goes on.
Yeah.
Life goes on. All right, so let's talk about s- 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 things that we do to help us get the block out, or what a lot of people term s- secondaries.
Mhm.
So okay, for example, if I have a block, I will either tap on my head or tap my leg or tap my feet to help me get out of the block.
Mm.
Do you do that also, or no?
Actually, yeah. I'm actually doing it right now. But you know what? Like, I think it's funny. It's like I think that those I I I think that those ticks change too. Like, there'll be some times where like I'll go through a phase to where like I have to close my eyes, or there'll be a time where where I have to kind of look away. Like it's I have noticed that like that's definitely changed like over the course of like the last like 20 uh, up to the last 20 years. That these ticks that I've had have uh, um they have kind of changed over time.
Well, let me tell you, Michael, I'm a lot older than you are. I may be 3 times your age. And so
No.
let me tell you, I spent a period of 2 years whispering. I spent a couple of years, communicating on post-its where I didn't talk at all. I would just write on a post-it and hand it to
Yeah.
anybody, you know, and people tell me, that's a crutch, but then I come back, it's called survival. I mean, I have to go to the grocery store. I have to pay bills. I have to go to the bank. I mean, I have to do a whole bunch of stuff. And this is what I need to do for Pedro. We're all different in our journeys. I mean, we we all have that common de- denominator that we all have a stutter. However, our journeys are different. And so for Pedro, I had to do just a whole bunch of tips and tricks to help me, you know, complete a task that I had to do.
Mhm.
And so if it meant that I had to whisper or talk in an accent or write on post-its, I did it. I did it
Yep.
because I have to eat.
Yeah.
I have to pay my rent. So yeah.
Yeah. There was
All right.
I even went through a phase where like I would start to kind of sing it out, and then everybody like that. I don't think that phase really worked really well. So
I have been there and done that, Michael. No, 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 no. I will not sing to you. So, all right. So here is a hot topic. All right. So
okay.
we have a couple of hot topics, but here's the first one. So let me ask you this. So do you let others finish your sentences?
No. Actually, like I said, you cut me off. I'll let them say what they think. Whatever they think that I'm going to say, and then I'm going to say what I want to say. Like I really do believe that like that things we have to say are just as important, uh, 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 as what others have to say.
You are 100% correct because I can't tell you how many times they have attempted to help, and so 9 times out of 10 they get it wrong,
Yeah,
which adds to my irritation,
yeah,
frustration,
yeah,
agitation. It's like no,
yeah,
no.
and it wastes even more time.
Yeah, ex-
Yeah,
exactly. When plus our time is precious, our time is value.
yeah.
Okay, so how do you handle bad days? I know we
Uh,
go through phases in our speech. We may have good days where we don't have any problem with any letter in the alphabet. However, on other days, nothing. Believe me, nothing comes out. How do you handle those bad days?
um, I'm very, very open about it. Like I, I, I have no problem telling people, hey, like, uh, uh, today's just one of my bad speech days. So you just got to be patient. I don't, I don't hide it. Um, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You just everybody has good days and everybody has bad days. So we just have bad days speaking. It's nothing really different.
Right. When I had those bad days, I would, just the old Pedro would um b- verbally I would b- beat myself up
Mm-hmm.
verbally, you
Mm-hmm.
know. However, that was the old Pedro. I had a lot of anger issues because of my stutter. And
Yeah.
now when I have bad days, that's when, I meditate, I do my breathing, I do
Mm-hmm.
my positive affirmations and tell myself tomorrow it will be a better day. It'll be a great day.
Yeah. That's one thing. But like one thing that's really really taxing for me is uh, 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 is uh, uh, is whenever you have bad days, whenever you go home, like your 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 jaw hurts, like all your jaw and like all this area just it really hurts from like just from a day of trying to say stuff.
Oh, Michael. You hit it right on the head. What what people don't understand is what we go through in a whole day. I mean, we're
Oh,
talking a whole day.
there's so much.
Everything is tense. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Your heart, your jaw, your chest, your lungs, your intestines, your legs, every single muscle in your body is tense. And so at the end of the day, I am exhausted, Michael.
Oh,
I have nothing for anybody. I just
nope.
want to plop on the couch and because mentally, physically,
Mm.
stuttering is draining. It
Yeah,
is draining. And
it really is.
so, I mean, yes, I, so a lot of people d- don't realize that we go through that. And so, that's where we educate them and we tell them that don't call me after work.
Yeah, don't.
I'm
Don't.
not going to answer.
I'm not gonna answer the phone. Yeah. You can text me. Like
No,
that's fine. But
that's right. Yeah,
yeah.
but no, I'm spent. I'm
Yeah.
spent. Cut.
Yeah. We can text all day, but don't no, we don't. That's great.
Exactly, sir. Exactly. Okay, now, do you ever experience negative self-talk? And if you do, how do you cope with it?
Man. Yeah. Uh, I think like most people, I have a lot of self doubt. Especially when it comes to my speaking. Like it's inside. I know that what I have to say it needs to be said, but then I have like other circumstances come into play, and those are okay. Does this have does this person have time to stop and just like listen to me and like you know uh, and then you just want to hurry up, and so you know I don't know, just a tough mental thing to kind of go through.
Mine is called Oscar. I named him Oscar because he's Oscar the Grouch. And I mean, for every thing that I was attempting to do, like hop on the telephone and make a phone call, Oscar would say, "No, you can't do that. Remember, you can't talk. Remember, just don't do it and don't do it." And for years, I listened to Oscar. I mean, Oscar had control of my life until one day I said, "No, Oscar, I'm going to need for you to shut up." I'm going to do this, Oscar. And so I would shut him down, and then I would tell myself, I'm going to do this. And when I did it, that was a win. That was a win. And it felt good. I mean, to have a win, I told myself, what if I have another one?
Yeah,
The next day, and then the next day. It's like, whoo. So I learned when Oscar would pop up, I would just shut him down and tell him to shut up, and that Pedro is going to do what Pedro is going to do. So that negative self talk, oh, he had a lot of power, Michael. He had a lot of power over me until I just shut him down. And
yeah,
once I did that, whoo, I mean, it it was awesome. However, it took a long time. It
yeah,
took over, you know, it took a couple of decades to learn to shut him down. So once I did it, it was all good. It was all good.
yeah.
All right. So here is another hot topic. Now, I ask all my guests, and all of the answers are split right down the middle, just
Okay.
split right down the middle. So
All right.
let me ask you, Michael
Okay.
Campbell. So when you are alone, can you speak without stuttering?
No, and and uh, I even had to learn sign language at this as one point in time. We're like, uh, uh, um, I just couldn't say anything, and so like I knew, okay, I have to get my words out. So like, I maybe I can learn sign language. Well, I ended up kind of stuttering too when I was doing sign language because uh, I was stuttering because I was saying the words up here, and so whenever the words come out like a stutter, like my hands would kind of stutter too, and so then I just kind of gave up on that, and then I just kind of tried talking again.
See, and again, Michael, I'm your twin. When I'm alone, I still stutter. I mean, when I talk to my dog, Miss Ruby Jean, I still
Yeah,
stutter when I'm
yeah,
talking to her. When I go over my schedule in my head in the morning and I'm talking to myself, as
still
we all
there.
do, um, I still stutter. And it's like,
Yeah,
okay. I mean, so, I mean, it's just split right d- down the middle.
mhm,
Some do,
yeah,
and some don't.
yeah.
And so, that's interesting. I find
It
it
is
interesting.
interesting. It is kind of interesting.
Yes.
Hmm.
I mean, it's a head scratcher. It's
Yeah,
like,
because I mean, because if you, I mean, I don't know. I wish I could think to myself without stuttering. That'd be kind of cool.
okay. Okay. So, do you feel that you st- stutter more when you're tired or or stressed out or both?
um, I think that it's kind of both. Um, like I know whenever. Well, no, I really can't even say that. Like it's really just kind of mixture. Like I can have great days and I can stutter. I can have bad days and I can stutter. So it just there's really no time to where it's like not so bad.
See, and when I'm tired, I don't stutter, and here is why. I have no energy left. I have nothing. And so the
Yeah,
words that come out, they're just going to come out. I mean, however, on the opposite end of the spectrum, when I'm anxious, that isn't the cause of my stutter. It just kind of adds to it. So, we're all different in
yeah.
in you know, in that regards. Okay, so here's a doozy for you. So has this ever happened to you? So okay, let's say you have a doctor's appointment, and so you walk into the building, and then you hop into the office, and then there's an admin person, and they greet you, and they ask you for your name, and then you have a block, but not just a regular block, Michael. You have a long block.
Yeah,
Then the admin person asks you, "Did you forget your
your
name?"
name.
Has that ever happened to you?
Oh, that's happened to me. It's happened to my son. That's probably happened to everybody that stutters. So which is why I made these guys, right? So I have
Oh, that's
Smile I
wonderful.
Stutter. Yeah. So the reason why the reason why that I made those was because when we first started having to wear masks, whenever I got asked that question, the reason why they were asking that question was because they couldn't see me struggling. And now that I have the mask, uh, they can at the very least read, and they can be a little more patient. And I've kind of found that over uh, 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 ever since I started wearing these masks, I, people have been like more patient.
See, and that is awesome. You have a mask that has your logo. Smile I Stutter. That is fantastic because I cannot tell you, Michael, I cannot tell you how many times that has happened to me. And so instead of, well, the old Pedro um would get angry. However,
Oh yeah,
nowadays it's time to educate. It's
yeah,
time to raise awareness. And so what I do is I educate the person and tell them I have a speech impediment, I have a stutter. And so what that means is you may hear me repeat words or have a block, and you may see me have my eyes closed and my arms going all over the place. It's just Pedro. I just have a stutter. And so that way, for the next time that it happens to that individual, they are better prepared and they are educated as to this is what is going on. So
yeah,
the admin person will have respect, patience, eye contact, and be a professional. Because what I want is I want your patience. I want your respect and I want your eye contact because even though I don't have the eye contact, once I do open my eyes, I want to make sure I'm looking at you.
yeah, yeah,
you know
yeah,
so my goal is just to educate and raise awareness, and so that way when it happens again, there aren't any issues whatsoever, and that person who stutters will have a better outcome than what I had.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you consider st- st- stuttering a disability?
Yes, I do 100%. I mean, because like if you can't communicate, I mean, like everything is built around communication, right? So even even whenever you use your cell phone, a person that stutters can't use Siri. A person that stutters like can't use, uh, uh, all these all the voice activated apps. Like so, it is. Uh, uh, I do consider it a disability. Um, like it is a definite hindrance in life. Like as one example, like so whenever you have to call a 1-800 number, we have to pay insurance, you have to do something like that. Uh, you're on hold for like 45 minutes to an hour, okay? And once you get to that point, like you're already irritated. Uh, 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 and now picture yourself with a stutter. Imagine calling the same number, and you've been on hold for an hour, and then and then whenever the person picks the phone up and the person says hello, and you can't say hello fast enough, the person's gonna hang up, and you got to call again, and you got to do it all over again. So like, I do. Uh, 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 um, yes. The answer to your question is yes.
So, so according to the ADA, it is covered because it does impact a a life event,
Hmm.
aka what communication. So uh, it is covered under the ADA. So
Hmm.
all right. So, what do you think about all this new technology? You had touched on it briefly, but there's Google Home, there's Alexa, and there's Siri. Do you think that this new technology is helpful or hurtful for people who stutter?
I think it's neither. I mean, like it doesn't. Well, again, I really can't speak for everybody else, but I know for myself, like I really don't miss out from not using Siri. Um, I really don't miss out from not using. I really don't miss out from not using Alexa. You know, so I don't like. I really don't think it really matters. That's just my opinion, though. I don't know how you may feel.
Oh, um, I don't like them because they only give you 1 second to respond. And let me tell you, Michael, Pedro needs to breathe.
I know it.
Pedro needs to be focused. Pedro needs to have all his ducks in a row.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then I do it. And by then it's like, um, repeat. Or I didn't get that.
yes.
It's like, oh, it's like, okay, I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
done. Yes. But there is some good news, Michael. So I have been a part of two re- research studies from two different universities, and they are creating an algorithm for people who stutter in relation to um, voice activate voice activated technology, and
Oh
so that's
wow.
pretty cool. Yes,
Heck yeah, that's
it's pretty cool.
cool.
So I'm very proud
Yeah.
to have been a part of that because ooh, it
Heck
is
yeah.
frustrating. That's
Yes,
Shuri.
sir. Yes, sir. It is. Especially whenever it says please repeat and like to me,
Oh,
I haven't even said it the first time yet, so I don't have anything to repeat. I'm still trying to get it out.
I'm still breathing, Michael.
I'm still
I'm
trying to
still
breathe.
breathing. It
Yeah.
is terrible. It's terrible.
Oh,
All
it's
right.
awful.
So what is a challenge speech wise that you had to overcome and how did you do it?
A challenge that I overcome. Um, I used to not like talking to people. Um, like I would like purposely. Well, pretty much like I said earlier. Whenever you grow up, whenever you have to go to school, right? You have to stand up and say your name. My first, my first, um, my very first situation uh, where I felt shame from my a speech was when I was in fifth grade, and it was the very start of the school year. And my teacher said, and everybody's got to get up, everybody's got to say their name. And I was like, oh no. So I was literally, uh, um, I was the very last person to go uh, because I had hidden for uh, the rest of my time. And whenever it was my turn, another teacher came in, and so whenever I couldn't say my name, the teacher goes, "What the hell is wrong with you?" And like after that, uh, uh, just from that statement, that probably took me like 30 years to get over, and the fear of talking to people or the fear of being laughed at. I think those are kind of challenges that I'm. Uh, 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 those are challenges that uh, those are challenges that I'm just now kind of beginning to get over.
Words are powerful. Words are extremely powerful. When I was growing up, Michael, I would have people tell me that I was slow and that I was stupid and that I had a form of mental retardation and that I would never, ever have a job. I would never, ever have a career or graduate high school. I mean, um, that, they knew what was best for Pedro, and that was to just stay home and collect disability
Yeah.
every single month.
Uh, 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 that was the same thing for me. Whenever I was in seventh grade, um, I was taking all honors classes, and then I got to eighth grade. I got to class, and um, my class card had like a whole different kind of classes on it, and I was like, "Oh, that's weird," because just last year I was taking honor science, and so uh, uh, they the principal took me out of all my classes uh, 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 and moved me to uh, special education classes, and because I thought because of my speech, I was just like you had said, you know, you know, you're slow.
that, I mean, takes a toll on us. I mean,
Yeah.
because, it's, I mean, you know, growing up, I didn't have a thick skin. I didn't. I took everything in. I internalized everything that they were telling me. So after a certain point, in my life, I believed that I was slow, that I believed that I was stupid. It was only until I reached the age of 40, Michael, 35 years, 35 years of hearing that almost on a daily basis until I said, that's it. That's it. I am done. Pedro is awesome. Pedro has a stutter. I love Pedro. And once I did that, I kid you not, Michael, a whole new world had opened up. Because if you laugh at me now, that's on you.
Yeah.
Pedro's awesome. I
Yeah.
learned to have a
Yeah.
thick skin. So if you mock me or tease me, oh, my motto is hurt people hurt people. If
Yes.
you have to make fun of me to make yourself feel better, that's on you. Because
Yeah.
I love Pedro. And oh my gosh, Michael, let me tell you, it was a whole new world. Granted, I had all this confidence, but I still stuttered. And
Yeah.
it's okay because Pedro is awesome.
Awesome.
I love Pedro.
Heck
It's
yeah.
all good. It's all good.
Bam.
Okay, now, so you're the best. So here is a very deep question.
Okay.
So, do you think it's okay to stutter, or is it important to keep chasing the fluency gods?
I mean, I like my stutter. Like, like I know that like a lot of people probably think that's kind of weird, but like, uh, I like it, uh, uh, and 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 uh, uh, I'll tell you why. Like, my stutter, uh, my stutter, my stutter has taught me how to be humble. My stutter has taught me how to listen. Um, and to be honest, the, like the whole world is like trying to find some way to be unique, right? And like, and we don't have that problem. Like we're unique already, and so like you have to celebrate that. And like just like you said, like it is like there's nothing wrong with stuttering. There's nothing wrong with stuttering because God made you. Uh, 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 and God doesn't make mistakes. So like you're awesome.
You're awesome, Michael.
Yeah.
And wow. My stutter has taught me empathy. It has taught me courage and resiliency because when they knock us down, Michael, guess what? We get back up
Yep. You got to
and
get
we
back
get
up.
back up.
Yep. You
It's
have to.
it's called survival. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's called survival. Now, what advice would you give to another person who stutters?
Oh, uh, uh, don't be afraid to speak. Like, no matter how long it takes you for you to get it out, if you have something to say, those people will wait, and those people will listen. You're important too. What you have to say is just as important.
Ooh, I got goosebumps, Michael.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Okay, so here is the last question, and it's a doozy. So
Okay.
if you had the if you had the opportunity to be on the world stage and to give in in insight to the world about stuttering, what message would you convey?
It doesn't take anything to be patient. Um, and you're going to learn a lot from somebody that stutters. Albert Einstein stuttered. Just be patient.
How cool. And that's huge to just give us the time. What we have to say has value, so it may take us just a little bit more time. So, all that I want is your patience and the respect to just hang out there with me, have the
Yeah,
eye
yeah,
contact.
yeah. Let's struggle together.
you
Like
know,
let's.
yes, exactly, exactly. Okay,
Let's go through this thing together.
Michael, I have enjoyed
This has
our
been so much
conversation.
fun.
I think um you when I l- l- look at you right now, I see nothing but positivity and courage.
Yeah.
And I mean, and you are a bright light in our community. So I want to
Well, so are
say
you,
thank
sir.
you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Now,
you,
I
sir.
have the best listeners. I am in 55 countries on 6 continents. What if they wanted to reach out to you? How would they do that?
So, if you want to reach out to me, you can go to my Instagram, or you go to my Facebook page. Just in case you want to look it up, it's you can look. I smile. Uh, I stutter. And I just like to tell everybody on my pages. Uh, 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 just in case there's somebody out there, just in case there's somebody out there that's reading this or is watching this and does stutter. Uh, 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 um, will you please reach out because I'd love to get to know you. I'd love to send you some masks and I'd love to send you some cool wristbands. So, just in case you do stutter, please reach out.
How cool. And I want you to tell me more about your amazing organization about Smile I Stutter.
Oh
Tell me
man.
all about it.
Okay, so I know you don't have a whole lot of time left. So I'm just going to try to get all this out. So I grew up stuttering. Uh, Growing up in a small town, uh, 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 was really hard whenever you stuttered. I grew up being bullied, and then once I was bullied, I started becoming really embarrassed about when it came to regards to my speech. So then after that I had a child, and it was whenever camera started talking was when I was was when I realized was when I realized that as a dad, uh, 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 as a dad, I couldn't be embarrassed anymore. I had to do something. I had to show my son that I had to show my son I had to show my son that it was okay to stutter. And so I fast forward to now, like I've reached a lot of people. I've made new friends like all the way out in like Bangladesh. I've I've met some people like down in Brazil, like I, 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 I it's really great. And so like um I just want to help. Uh, 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 I just want to help. Uh, I just want to. I just want that one kid to hear that it's okay to stutter, and if we can do that, well then I think that Smile I Stutter has done its job.
Well, that is fantastic. We will have all those links in
Yeah.
the podcast notes, and so that way anyone from around the world can hop on there and click and just see the amazing things that you are doing.
Yay.
And then also, Cameron, if you are hearing this, Cameron, I want to tell you, your dad is awesome. Your dad is phenomenal. I am proud to know your dad. Your dad is just amazing. And so I want you
Thank you, sir.
to know that you have an amazing mentor. You have an amazing father, and you can do anything in this world, Cameron. Don't let no one tell you what you cannot do in
Nobody.
this world, because you are phenomenal. You are amazing, and your dad is #awesome.
Awesome.
So woo! I got the
Heck
goosebumps,
yeah.
Michael. Got the goosebumps.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So one more time, I want to tell you, thank you. I truly enjoyed our conversation. I cannot wait
Yeah.
to talk to you again,
Yes.
later down the road. And so I want to wish you a wonderful weekend in the evening. And so I want you to take care, be well, and stay safe.
Hey, all right. I hope you have a great evening.
Thank you, sir.
If you like this podcast, head on over to Apple Podcasts. Subscribe, rate, and review. Thank you for listening, and we will talk again.